hello guys, what's going on? This is Negacious, and welcome to Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, I can only infer that we got the bad ending for Shizune's route. And because she kind of broke down, even though she may not show it, but she kind of just said that she's done nothing but mistakes, and neither was me nor her. Pretty much both just cocked the situation even worse. Every time we would have had a chance to fix things. And I mean, it was a decent ending, but we need to get a good ending. I want to see what happens, because that was a long part after this choice, which is apparently the last choice in Shizune's and Misha's route. That's right, last time we had a debate, well, I had a debate regarding what was going to happen if we were to comfort Misha. I was right, we had sex, and that kind of drove things off, so-calledly. So I'm guessing that I'm not guessing anything at this point, because the route is keeping me on my toes pretty much. But our point is to try and get like the other ending this time. So even though Misha asks that please comfort me, Hichan, just for today, we are not going to comfort Misha, which would end up in sex, but instead we're going to refuse. So let's see. Refuse. What? Before I can answer, she pushes me with her whole weight against me, and it unbalances me enough to send us both onto the bed. If I don't answer quickly, then the situation will only become more precarious. I know that I should never have let things get as tangled as they already are. So, even though it isn't the most tactful way to refuse her, I push her off of me. Misha falls backwards onto the sheets, so softly that it seems like she barely fell at all. Eyes closed, she stays like that for a while, before getting up with a hollow laugh.
You're right, Hichan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel. Regretful, slightly, even though I've grown to hate regret. Sad, for a multitude of reasons. I'm also a little angry, both at her and at myself. And in a way, it even seems like I'm not really feeling at all. Don't be.
No, Hichan, it's okay. I am really. But just asking was enough for me, I think. Yeah, I'm happier that you said no.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Like, originally when this choice came up, but I was just... My mindset has changed since I made the choice, let's say. I'm gonna go through it in more detail in the ending of this route. Is that right? Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Hichan.
She pulls herself up and leans against the wall. I'm assuming she is. My head hurts so much that I don't bother opening my eyes. I lie on my bed, listening to the rustle of my hair brushing against the sheets and the grass waving in the wind outside. I guess that I should say more to reassure her, but I wonder if that would really help. Maybe it would be better to say nothing. I just don't know. Although I think that in this situation, there's no one right thing I can do.
Good night, Hichan.
With that, she leaves, the door clicking shut behind her like a guilty whisper. Maybe it's because I'm eager to put today behind me, but after Misha is gone, I find it much easier to fall asleep. I do so almost instantly. Okay, so... I mean, Misha's logic makes sense. But I'm not gonna, like, intervene with it just now. The following morning, I wake up thinking that most of my time is going to be spent trying to avoid Shizune and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling. I feel like an idiot for believing it would be that easy. I think about whether or not Misha might feel the same way. If so, she probably won't show up to school today. I'd considered doing the same, but it would be pretty suspicious, and staying inside all day in fear doesn't appeal to me. It never really has. Wait, isn't this old dialogue? I think this is old dialogue. Be right back, guys. Okay, so that was actually old dialogue. It was like the same dialogue with Misha. We went to the library. After that, we went to the library to have a talk with Shizune. After that, we headed up to the roof to take some fresh air. And we saw Misha there. We had the cutscene where Misha told us about her and Shizune's past, about her confession. And from here on out, it's new dialogue actually. So I'm getting the feeling that this is going to be intertwined with the bad ending. There's going to be a lot of same dialogue, so I'm sorry if I don't realize it immediately. I'm sorry if this is going to be a messy episode. But if it is, I'll probably make a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. So this is right after we had a talk with Misha on the roof. Misha presses harder against the fence at her back, as if hoping to slip right through it. Without really thinking about it, I grab her hand. My reflexes are terrible, and I manage to only grasp onto a few of her fingers, but that's unimportant. Sorry, it's just that you said something pretty weird just now.
Yeah, I guess that's right, Hichan.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I think? Shizune is the type of person who won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. It's frustrating, sometimes even infuriating. That probably would have bothered me when I was in the hospital and anyone who shut me out was dead to me. I'd forgotten all about it until recently. I got a letter, and it was all about that. I was mad. I thought, how can you accuse me of closing myself off from everyone and giving up? Isn't that what everyone else did to me? What am I supposed to do? What can I do? Yeah, even now, I know that's how it happened, but she was right too. I did close myself off. So, I made up my mind that I'm not going to let that be the case ever again.
The hospital! Hichan, is that what those pills are for?
Just listen, please. Shizune is the opposite of how I was. She has always wanted to draw people closer to her. That's the only reason Shizune was interested in me in the first place, I think. And I think I was determined not to let that happen, in a way. Misha casts her eyes downwards, understanding perfectly. I never realized how hard can that be. And now, I feel like I'm going to return the favor, even if it takes twice as long. I already learned a second language just to get this far. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was definitely hard. Sometimes I felt like I was clawing my way up a mountain with how my hands hurt. And you did the same thing, and it was all for the same reason, wasn't it? That's really amazing. Which is why it makes me sad and a little angry. That why would you say a stupid thing like that? That's just what I believe anyway. Her shoulders slump, and Misha almost slides to the floor, like she's drained of all energy.
You're too dramatic, Hichan.
She says, while looking away, turning her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning it enough to do so. The door behind us opens, the sound only barely able to be heard over the ambient breeze.
I've been looking for everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting?
I think this is old dialogue as well. Be right back, guys. She walks over to us, leaning against the fence next to Misha as if she needs to stop and catch her breath, before pushing herself off it and continuing. I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day now, without either of you ever coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much. Normally, Misha and I would be jokingly making excuses for ourselves at this point. This time, there's only silence. Shizune, always expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in uneasy silence, which Shizune breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers, smiling as if to say, Eureka. Let's do something together. Like what? Anything. We should go to the student council room first and figure it out from there. That seems like a trick to get us to do some work instead. Very funny. Misha laughs, managing to let out a restrained wah-ha-ha. God, that sounds so weird. So, I think this is actually new dialogue, like from here on out. I can't remember this. That Shizune can't see it makes me feel better. It means that it wasn't only for her benefit. I was thinking that you both actually could help me with something. What else is there? We can't go out to eat. We already ordered in yesterday, and that was already breaking policy. 3 days in a row would be unforgivable.
But that was ordering in, Hichan. Going out to eat is different.
Yeah, totally different. You're both kidding yourselves. Before I can reply, Shizune grabs my hand, limiting my ability to do so. My options cut down so drastically, I have no choice but to settle for making a face at her instead. She makes one back, before extending her hand to Misha as well. When Misha is reluctant to take it, I walk forward, as far as holding onto Shizune at the same time will allow me, and take her hand myself. She only has a second to smile before Shizune starts pulling us impatiently towards the door, binding us together like a human chain. Ah, dude! This looks so fucking pretty, like Jesus Christ. Although it's dangerous, none of us seem to think of letting go any step of the way through the school, out of the doors and across the grounds. That girl on the back actually looks like Dahlia Hawthorne with blonde hair from Ace Attorney 3. With the white clothes and the day shade. Or what's the word for that? I can't remember the word for that kind of umbrella. This feels familiar, as if we've walked like this before. The three of us, hand in hand. Of course, the mood was a lot happier then. I can see the lingering sadness on their faces, and it makes me wonder if anything has really changed. If this is all just a distraction or not. But I think it's just me slipping back into being cynical because of the moment. It's a start. Yay! Nice. And chapter 4, to my other self. Shizune talking to herself. This is actually maybe old dialogue. Let me see. Okay, be right back, guys. This is old dialogue. This is a long ass, like, old dialogue piece. Jesus. And still going. Jesus. There's just so much, like, of the same storyline here. Okay. So, from here on out, it's new dialogue. We just skip through a lot of text. Like, we went to the library the next day, talked to Shizune, we went to class, to the Shanghai, the student council room like twice, talked to Shizune there, like we covered literally episode 31 in the span of that skip. So, like it was all same dialogue, but from here on out it's new I think, so let's get this underway. This is just after we dragged Misha out of the Shanghai and kind of like gave her the pep talk of why do we want for her to make up with Shizune. So this is like the next day. Because like after that break, you would skip directly to like class the next day, but this is different, so I literally read to the next frame, so let's get going. I see less of Misha in the following days, but I don't worry, because when I do see her, she looks a bit more like her old self each time. Yes! Once it's clear enough that I don't have to be afraid of it being my wishful thinking coloring my perceptions, I start to relax again. I wake up very early and feeling sick on a Sunday. I want to sleep too early last night. Too. Something's also wrong with my curtains, and they won't close completely. Because of that, I can't even attempt to go back to sleep. The sun hits me in the eyes every time. I'm sure this is probably why I woke up so early in this morning as well. Being this sick and tired is a perfect storm for frustration. I'm almost glad when there's a knock at the door. It's Kenji. It's a familiar person holding an almost completely eaten apple in his hand. Taking one last bite, he attempts to shoot it into my trash can and misses completely, and it smashes apart on the wall 2 meters too high. To be fair, most of the pieces afterwards do manage to fall into the trash can, but I'm pretty sure no one is so brazen that they would be aiming to do something like this on purpose. Perfect shot! Sup, roomie? I'm not your roomie. We don't live in the same room. It doesn't matter. It does. You should at least give the difference between living in the same building and living in the same room. I need to use your room. What's this? For what? I messed up. I should have said absolutely not. The student council keeps delivering my mail, even though I asked them to put it in my locker or something. But they keep putting it under my door, delivering my mail without me noticing it, so today I'm lying in wait to catch them in the act, like a detective or a safari hunter. I need to chill in your room for today and look through the little peephole or I won't be able to catch them in the act, and maybe tomorrow too. It'll be awesome. We'll get pizza on both days, or should we get pizza on just one day and something else on the other day? But what? And which day is pizza day? Not today, never. You know, I'm in the student council. Why didn't you just ask me about this? If he had, I would have been able to find out very easily, and wouldn't have to have Kenji in my room. It's a win-win. Except, I guess this way, he might be able to get pizza out of me. I started thinking that maybe this was Kenji's intention. But, no, there's no way he could plan something that elaborate. You know? When they deliver mail? Well, no. They just hand me my mail whenever I go to the student council, usually. The point is that I could find out by asking them. Then I'd know and I could tell you. That's how people find things out, by asking. Not cavemen. Oh yeah, no response to that, right? Checkmate. What the fuck? Use your own peephole. What if they see me? Kenji, that's not how peepholes work. They... And then... why do I call everything he's gonna say in like every Kenji conversation? Jesus Christ. They can't. They can't. That's how peepholes work. It's like a one-way glass. For real? Well, no way. They'll be expecting me to be in my room anyway. They'll sense my presence and know I'm here. They'd never expect me to actually be in the room across the hall. I'm going to go to the student council room and go get your mail for you. Right now. Then I guess I can't let you leave. That's dumb. What if I have to use the toilet? Your games won't work on me. I sit down at my desk and start doing my homework for the weekend. You know, you're going to have to leave eventually, so you can't stay here forever, or keep me here forever. I mean, this is my room to start with. Yeah, I don't think I can. What times the mail usually come? That's a weird way of saying the sentence. Huh. Now? Why are women so slow? Why do you care so much about the mail anyway? Are you expecting something? I'm always expecting something. Not today, though. Do you want them to send something? Do you even send mail? Nope. That's how they get you. I haven't used mail since I was 8. Sent a letter to Lego asking them to make the Dragon Ball Legos. Dragon Ball Legos. Wait, is that a reference? Is Dragon Ball Legos like an actual thing? Because I don't remember like Dragon Ball Legos from my youth. When I was a kid, I can't recall like Dragon Ball Legos. Huh. That's an interesting little reference if it ends up to be true. They said they couldn't get it right and gave me some coupons. Totally worth it, but after that I made sure to stay off the radar. You don't use mail, do you? I wrote to my parents last week. But that's how they get you! Yes, I should have known. Maybe that's why they put that microchip in me the next day. He saw troll mode active. So, the rumors were true! I'd like to know what rumor mill he got that from. I'm kidding. It's just a joke. Joke? Damn, you would joke on me? I guess that's how it feels, to have jokes cracked on. I never thought it'd happen to me. This is a serious issue. Man, I think you're not appreciating the depths of my dilemma. It's a work in many acts, complicated acts, with many players. It's really hard, okay? After I'm done, I'm gonna eat a whole fish to celebrate. Ah, shit! I want a pizza, though. I still want a pizza. Can I get fish on the pizza? Do they do that now? You're going to be paying for it. You still haven't paid me back, and I'm not hungry right now anyway. Not in the mood for pizza? That's just not possible, son. It's gotta be beef pizza anyway. I'm in the pizza stage of my life. Before I was in an ice cream stage, but my girlfriend kept eating all the strawberry out of my Napolitan. It'll probably happen to you too. It's hard to tell if he's serious half the time. I can only see his expression when he's not nose deep in my door. I doubt that. Hey, you know I do have a girlfriend, right? Not Iwanako either. The student council president, actually. Old news. Whoa, what? What? Seriously? I have my sources. Anyway, then it dawned on me that I'd gotten fat from all that ice cream. It was a rude awakening, like sleeping on a beach and getting hit by a wave that destroyed your sandcastle. I started running, had to lose the pounds, but maybe I was really running away from myself. That's deep, dude. What the fuck? A sudden and continuous knocking causes him to leap backwards far enough to hit the wall all the way behind him. I take the opportunity to walk over and open the door. Good morning. What's up? I hear if you salt the doorway, they can't enter uninvited. They're not vampires, Kenji. At least I don't think Shizune is a vampire. I'm not going to put salt in my doorway. But you're considering it. Good. Good morning. Are you here to deliver the mail? Jesus. Too many E's. Nodding. Nodding, Shizune waves a couple envelopes between our faces. I take them from her, freeing up her hands for conversation. How did you know? How did you know? You were hiding it behind your back in a really obvious way. Hiding what? The mail? Again, I like the screen transitions. Because you get the feeling that he's just like spinning around. You know, like talking to Kenji and then to Shizune again. It's okay. I wasn't trying very hard to hide it in the first place. That's not like you. You're the type of person who'd go anything worth trying is worth trying hard. Girls taking initiative. And what about me? I've been using that phrase for years. Where's my beret, dog? Dog? I spit literally gold, and you women just steal it and wear it out like a 2-for-1 sundress. You're all like my Picard to the Kirk, or you could even be Janeway. Not all the time. Are you making fun of me? Finally noticing Kenji, she gives him a wave. Hey Kenji, the student council president says hi. Hi! Introduce me. I have no idea what is he saying, but it looked confident. Oh yes, no one is better at saying that kind of stuff confidently. I already did. I even introduced you by title. This is Kenji. He's the guy across the hall. His room is right behind you. Anyway, do you have his mail too? I'm only delivering your mail because it was there. I have early access. Them Steam references. Wait, what? It's all about location. Consider it as a perk of being in the student council. That doesn't sound very fair. She takes a lot of liberties with her position. At least they're small ones. This is my first time. I have really been able to see your room. Jesus. My speech is all over the place again. It's a blatant lie, or she'd have signed it much faster. I'm sure Shizune remembers that it's not the first time. Why does he get to see a room and I can't? Is it a guy thing? Guy thing? It's not a secret club being a guy. It should be, with rings. Rings with big ass emblems. And gold! I never thought about it, but the conversation with this trio is actually quite hilarious. Are you sure? Are you really sure? I always thought there was a secret brotherhood of men. Why is she ignoring me? Let me tell her about the guy club. Also, what's up with the hand signals? Is she trying to hex me or something? No, stay out of this. I'll have to translate anything you say to her, and I'm not sure if I could even handle it. And she'll probably misunderstand it. Then you'll probably misunderstand the reply, and I'll have to translate your rebuttal. Rebuttal? Why would I rebut? Rebuttal? Why would I rebut? I like my butt. I need to calm the hell down. Okay, let's try this again. What is he saying? He says he has no rebuttal. Rebuttal to what? I haven't even begun to challenge him yet. I don't like the way she put that, so it appears that she wants to. But about what? It doesn't matter, since it wouldn't end well. Don't pick fights where there are none. I've never met your friends. Why can't I? It looks like he's being passionate. I suppose with the way he's flailing around it would be stupid to expect Shizune to think otherwise. Anyway, I'd better change the subject. Not that it would likely to work on her, but I'm sure that she has to have some here. She has to have come here for a reason, other than just to drop my mail off. If it was something that tiny, she wouldn't even have bothered knocking. You didn't just come here to give me my mail or chat up my friends, did you? Shizune snaps her fingers in mock frustration. It's as cringe-inducingly loud as ever. You're right. Let's go somewhere again. Do you have somewhere in mind already? You're right again. Let's go to the usual place. She whips out a bag of neatly wrapped containers from just outside of the doorframe. I'm guessing they're filled with food, and this time it doesn't look store-bought. Settling it down between her feet, she continues. Is that for me? That was a real surprise, see? I have to have something over everyone at the very end. I agree. In the way people normally do when someone makes a statement in front of them that tells more than they meant to tell. Well, fine. If you're both going to ignore me, I'm out of here. So cruel. You'll regret this.
Ah!
Dude. Aww. It's amazing what like the different coloring can do. Like regardless. Not long afterwards, we find ourselves on the school roof. Is it normally deserted at the time on a nice day like this on the weekend? No, of course not. I can only think that it's because of Shizune. Not that clearing out the roof would require anything more than posting a sign on the door. The empty plastic containers Shizune had packed our meal in lie next to me. It was another quiet meal, since holding chopsticks prevents us from saying much to each other. While it's not blowing hard enough to be a problem, the wind is a little strong today. It blows the plastic bag loose from under the empty containers, so it whips around for a bit before rolling over my legs and getting caught on the tip of Shizune's shoe. Immediately, she grabs it and starts signing, not looking happy that I'm laughing at her, even though she's trying not to let out a laugh herself. With the bag in the way, however, she has to eventually sit on it to continue.
Very funny. How was it?
The food? It tasted familiar.
That means it was bad.
No, I remember eating this exact meal before, when you made it. Not exactly the same. The fried shrimp was new.
It's the only thing I know how to make, but I should have improved.
You only know how to make fried shrimp? What the hell? How many times have you made it before?
This is the second time.
Making this particular meal?
Cooking.
Damn.
Oh. Next time, it's your turn to try it.
The way she keeps tugging on the corner of the bag is bothering me. I think I know why she's doing it. Is it really bugging you that much?
I want to pack them up properly.
It's okay, I'll get them. As I'm picking them up, I realize she must have brought a lot of food to be able to fill all these containers. I didn't even eat much. She must have some metabolism in order to pack all that away. Even though I've been only up for a second, it's long enough to stupidly trip over my own feet. Barely managing to break my fall, I end up landing on my elbows and knees right next to Shizune's lap. No? As I pull myself back up, hand gingerly held on my chest, all I can think about is how my knees hurt and how this fall could have killed me. I feel nauseous. Shizune gives a helpful push on my shoulder to help me upright, though I notice her eyeing me oddly. Unfortunately, even a light shove is enough to take me by surprise.
Are you okay?
I nod, but we don't return to sitting beside each other. Naturally, being alone with Shizune is going to involve a lot of silence, but I only start to notice it now. The typical sign of awkwardness. Again, she's the one to break the ice.
I was expecting you to try something dirty.
Oh! Dots. And now the mood is back to awkward. How's Misha?
Misha seems happier now, back to her old self. I thought this would be a good way to celebrate, and to thank you for helping her.
Her hand stumbles a bit on the last word. You think too much like a businesswoman.
I can't help it. It's how I've been taught to do things. It makes me happy that you're asking about Misha. It would be more accurate to say back to her real self. She would only be back to her old self to you. The Misha you know is completely different from the one I think of when I think of the first time when we met. Even though I think she looks better, cheerful and smiling, that isn't how she typically is. I wonder if that's true for you too.
I don't answer. Well, if Misha's happy, then it doesn't matter. If it worked out in the end, your plan worked.
You knew her just as well as you said. You knew everything she would say. If your idea was that I'd speak for you, though, doesn't that just make me your puppet? I didn't try anything. I didn't do anything then. Not true. It was your idea first. I was wrong. I have a way of seeing things that is very flawed, now that I've thought about it. I'm sure you know. Sometimes I treat everything like a competition between myself and everything else, even when it doesn't make sense to.
Sometimes?
I know very well how easy it is to ignore someone if they can only communicate with you through sign. I should have asked for help, but I was so sure I could do it on my own. It was actually a brave thing you did, even if you won't take credit for it. Aside from that, you've really become kind of admirable lately.
It's strange having her compliment me while her facial expression hasn't changed in the slightest.
But people don't change so easily, according to you, am I right?
She winks, clearly enjoying herself very much. Does Misha tell you everything?
Almost everything.
I guess you're going to tell me I'm wrong about that, aren't you?
Yes and no. I'm the one who told Misha that before anyone else, but she took it so far and changed the meaning. It's not easy, but she acts like that makes it impossible. If possible, if you go little by little, I'm considering trying to be less competitive. Yay!
I thought you enjoyed that though.
Maybe just a little. That's why I specifically use less.
She leans against the fence. I have things I want to say to her, but it doesn't seem like the right time for it, somehow. It's a feeling I have. I can tell she isn't done just yet.
A lot of people think I try too hard. Well, I've always thought that I try just enough.
The sound of the fence makes as she pushes against it, and the delicate clink of her sleeve buttons scraping against the links are oddly soothing. So is the breeze gently picking up behind me. I can hear people below us. Shizune's eyes dart below us as well, and I wonder if she still thinks about what she might be missing out on. The attention-grabbing way she tends to snap her fingers proves that she has an understanding of how other people perceive sound. It must be odd, being able to understand that much, but unable to experience it yourself. She starts walking slowly around the perimeter on the roof, still scraping her buttons against the fence. It isn't rhythmic at all, though not for lack of trying. I sort of zone out in thought while she does, and am rudely snapped out of it when she circles around completely and taps me on the shoulder.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
When? Now? Of course, it just happened.
It's been almost 10 minutes. When I first saw you, you seemed like you were very attached to the idea of feeling sorry for yourself.
That stings, even if it is true.
Sorry. It made me want to cheer you up at first sight. I was scared it would be for nothing though. I couldn't help thinking it would be hard to change your mind. But you did. I thought that was very surprising, and also that you might be kind of easily influenced. Still, I was surprised. It made me reconsider a lot of things, like that maybe everything was worth it in the end.
Everything?
That's why I like you.
I see. It's nice to finally know.
Din din din. This has to be the good end. Still, I'm wondering like how
Are they going to end this though? Wait, what? I feel like we're closing in on the end, like on the actual end here, so I'm gonna keep going. And remember, you have to take this job seriously. Too many people think you can just slack off and that it isn't important. That's a dangerous way of thinking. Wait, that's it. Wait, who am I talking to here? What?
Definitely! You can't take it too seriously! If you aren't always thinking big, thinking positive, and if you show any signs of weakness, people will start to think you're incompetent, you know. And soon you won't be able to do anything because your power is going to be delegated off to others piece by piece, and you'll be left with nothing. That's what happened last time. So, remember, it may seem like an easy job, but a lot of carnage can happen in this room. And out of it. Dealing with school staff too. Even trying to get a budget report from a class rep can be a fight to the death sometimes.
Still referencing to that old fight. Yeah, it's kill or be killed. There are no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. Are you sure about this? Is this right?
You don't seem excited enough. I have to make sure it's getting through properly. Once more, with feeling.
Wait, who are these? Shizune twists her hands like a maestro for emphasis, visibly intimidating the two girls standing at attention in front of us. To think that all this started because one of them asked if she wasn't taking her job too seriously.
Do you understand?
Do you understand? Pretend I'm shouting it. Aoi. Huh.
Okay. This student council is so weird.
And Keiko. Aoi and Keiko.
Yes, sir.
Sir? Who are you guys talking to anyway?
It's not weird. You have to think of it as a job. If you want, think of it like they are paying you with the right to use this great office.
You want another lecture?
No. You can go now.
Just like that, the hour-long student council orientation is over. Personally, I thought it was just about 50 minutes too long, and I also found it funny that it incorporated a tour of a school that when we have been doing it for a while, but I guess it didn't hurt. Hi guys, Negacious here. I'm sorry that this episode cut off at such an awkward spot, but the original footage is way too long to be uploaded and to be like, I mean, just by pure length, I've recorded longer episodes or like segments, but it like in this ending that this will be the first part of. There's so much going on. I want you guys to be able to like just take it all in and kind of enjoy the ride. So I'm cutting this episode off at a kind of awkward spot. I'm sorry about that. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the episode regardless. The episodes will continue as normal, daily, or as best as I can. I guess this is also an apology that I haven't been keeping up consistently. The trip and my vacation kind of just screwed everything over. But I'll try to get back to the normal rhythm as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the ending to Shizune's route. Bye bye.